Can we run a Redis cache, and Celery in Docker image for this project?
I would advise not to go with the Docker image. Uh, it might be, difficult for examiner to check that.
Okay.
But if you're just running the, what you say, just the soft, like you are just using Docker images, just start the Redis server, then completely you can use it.
Okay.
Okay, so let me share the screen as well. Today, the things which I wanted to discuss about are the lifecycle hooks. So these are the various points in our view lifecycle where we can introduce custom codes which we want to do. Let's look at how the life cycle of the entire view components which generally happens looks. So initially we start to get renderer templates. So if we have used options API, then initialization happens. But generally, since we have used the composition API, so this is the place where the if we can use setup, and this is where all the script setup which we have used, the composition APIs we have used, this is the place where that is being introduced and that will be executed. Now, if people have used options API, this is where all this happens. Now, it will start compiling the template. If it is able to compile, it is if view is able to compile the template and there is no error, and it will go and start rendering the DOM. And when we say that this is when places that where it starts to mount the DOM on the browser. So we have various life cycles. One is before mount, another is mounting. So these are the two life cycle hooks which we can use to introduce our code at these points which you see before this rendering of the DOM. Before mount can be used. And similarly, when the DOM has been mounted, and if we want to introduce some of the codes here, we can use mounted. Similarly, we have before update and updated, and unmounted and before unmounted. So these are the various life cycle hooks which we can use in our application, and we'll see one example of it. When we gonna create an edit page, it would be very simple. It's just I will create some edit page and random edit page for now because I think we don't have the required data. Let's see how we can demonstrate that mounting. And the next thing which I would show is with the help of view routers. So I'll just point it out. If you want to use in your application, you can do that. So if we go to the view routers documentation, uh, one would be the dynamic route matching, in which we will see if we have a if we want to have a dynamic endpoints and which component to render, how to pass the proposition, how to take the argument from the URL, that's we will see. And then there is one thing which I wanted to say, talk about. If you want to use in your application, they are called as navigation guards. So the example you can look of it is like whenever you visit whenever you visit a particular URL from the routers, you want to ensure that user has been logged in or not logged in. Example could be seen over here. So this is like this code you can use in your application, which will ensure that whenever you visit any particular URL, before every change, it will check whether the user is authenticated. And if it is not authenticated, you will redirect it to a different to the login page. This is how what you are doing. So these like is authenticated. These are the just what and two is the email which we the endpoint which we got from here. And if it is not login, that's the login page. And if it is not authenticated, this authenticated, we have defined an is authenticated variable in our state management PNIA we have seen in the previous session. So this is the same variable which you are using here. And so this is how you can put some guards on your various routers. And there are many more if you go and look at it. There are many ways you can read about this, so how you can use it. I will not be using this while demonstrating here. I would advise if you want to have these guards in your routers, you can just read this particular page which says that navigation guards. I've given you one example how and where this can be used. And so the part which I would be covering is how do we get this data and how do we use it. So let's start. So we have we in the previous session we have seen these state managements. One was for the authentication where we are storing user credentials and everything, and we were able to see. So this is authenticate is the same variable which we saw here in the navigation guard. All right. So now I have to start. So let's create a new view. Right now I have register view, login view, and what all models are there in my. I have to just check which all APIs are there. So there was this get, there was this post, and there was this put. So let's create this put uh, endpoint, and it just take names and description. And let me also check my database. It has been a long time I've seen my database, what all is there. So let's, I wanted to just check the categories table. Yes, I have a category, so I can think of editing this particular category. So what I'm doing is in my views, I will create one. Okay, I have to create it inside the views. I'll create one new here. Let's say edit category view dot. And so this is one which we have created. Similarly, we will have a script setup, and then we will have templates. And this would be, I would be creating very dummy this thing over here. I won't be focusing on the design. So I will just say form, and here can I have an input, let's say, uh, yes. Okay, so I have created one this thing where I have a heading tag which says edit category. Two input box I've created. One would be for the description, and another is for the category name. We'll see. I have to remove this because I want to do it myself. And I'll use a text area. Okay. So now what I wanted to do, basically what I want to do is when I'm performing this edit category operation, I want that these input box which you see over here, right? These should be pre-filled with whatever value is there in my database. That's the first thing which I wanted to do. That is when I've started to load this particular page. There should be some values pre-filled for these input box which I have created. And I wanted to do that. So first of all, I have to make a request into my database saying that go fetch the details for this particular category ID. Okay, this is what we have to do. So how and when, which action should I perform? I don't want to introduce any button over here so that if I click on that particular button and then it goes and fetch the information. That's what we have been doing in the previous sessions. What I want is it automatically goes and fetch the information with the particular category ID which is there in my database. So for that, I wanted to use, so basically what I want to do over here is at this particular place where my entire, this thing has been mounted, my entire component gets mounted. Before that, at this particular place, I just want to do is I wanted to, at this particular place, I want to send an API request to my database just to get the information about the categories which I'm gonna edit. So this is what I'm trying to do is understood to everyone, right? What I'm trying to do over here. So for that, I would be using this particular thing called as mounted as an lifecycle hook, which I would be using. So what I will do, so first let's do that from. We should just start import on mounted. On mounted. We will import on mounted from the view. And so we can just define a function called as on mounted. Right now, I'm just defining just a on mounted as a function I'm using, and I have defined a simple arrow function, which just make a console.log. That's what I've done. I've not done anything else. Let's save the file to see if there are any errors. And if there are any errors, we'll solve it. Don't want to complicate things over as of now. And in my router over here, I'll define this thing. One more path I will define over here. which is that would be profile. It would be okay, I have to change this. It should not be profile. It should be edit categories. Right now, I'm not giving the arguments because that's not what we have defined over here. And instead, it should be what name we have given. Edit category view dot view. This is what we have given. So let's see. Let's start our front end. See front. And then what we have to do is we'll go and start just an npm run it up. And this is what is the dashboard looks like. And if I go edit category, I want to open inspect window just to see if on-mounted function is working. Let's clear everything and now let's visit this. And you see this edit category got this particular statement got printed over here. So this is how when my component gets to start rendering, this page got rendered. So whatever things and now whatever fetch request which I wanted to send over here, I can just make that fetch request. So for that, first thing which I need is the category ID which have been passed over here. So I would be sending an endpoint like this. Let's say that the fruits which we saw in my database, the head is in primary ID of IDS1. So when I send this particular URL, I want to get the information of all these category IDs and description. So for that, I'll go to the routers file where I have defined my path. I'll just say slash semicolon ID. This is the way to declare that this is a dynamic variable, which would be, this value would be changing every time. And what all is there in this dynamic route, which we have to focus on. There are two ways to define this. Where is that? Dynamic net routing. One way to define the routes is like this simple this, where we're not passing any prompts. And we can use this route as here. So we have passed this ID over here. Now what we will do in our edit category, initially when we were using this dynamic routes, we have used something called as use router. So there are two things. One is use route, another is use router. So if you go and register view, we have used use router. This is the place where we are doing programmatic navigation. Now, if I want to use the properties or the data which have been passed in the route, then I have to use route. So I will say import use route from the view router, and I would say use route route yes use route. We have created an object of this, and then let's say that I instead of this edit, I also make a print statement console.log, and I will just say route.params.id. This is the way to access the parameters which have been passed in the route. Let's save the file and also save the file over here and see if we are able to, /1. And when I visit over here, I got some error, which is route is not defined. Okay. I always make this mistake. I don't know why I make this mistake. It should be constant. So we have to declare the data type also. So now let's see if things goes well for us. Yes, now see, I'm able to get the parameters which I'm passing over here. So if I say 4, and this is the ID which I've given. So I'm able to access whatever is being data which has been passed over here. I'm able to access those inside the on-mounted function. Now I just need to send a fetch request to get all the information regarding the category name and the description. So we have defined an API over here. If we have defined, let me see if we have defined the API. So if we go to the CRUD APIs, we have defined a category get, yeah. So it will return this kind of a response. And this is what is the endpoint for this in app.py. Yep. This is the way to define the /category / the category ID. So all sort of data validation you want to do with this thing over here, right? Where is that? So all sort of data validation you wanted to do, you can do that in front end as well as in the backend. Right now, I'm not concerned about the data validations. So I will just simply, send a fetch request. And I wanted to send an asynchronous request. I don't want to have synchronous by using async and await. So I will just simply say fetch, and I will say HTTP slash slash 127.0.0.1 semicolon 5000 slash API slash categories slash, and this is how. Okay, I have to remove this. Whatever string I have done over here, I have also appended the route ID over here, and this will send in fetch request. I have to specify various methods. Which method I wanted to send? MATHD method, and it should be get, and then I have to set the headers. Does this particular API which we have created, does it require any authentication? Let me check that. Or do we have to get an authentication token? No, we have not defined any authentication token required. So we can simply set without, it just needs to be have a content type. We can just give the content type. And since the get request, we are not sending any body. Now I will get the response. If response is okay, then I want to return the data. Otherwise, it will just say something went error, something goes rest. And now the data which I received, with the data which I've received, I will just send. I'm not explaining this fetch again and again because we have already seen this. And right now, we will just make a console statement, console.log, and we'll see if we are able to get the data. So let's save the file. And we have not, we've made some mistakes. One is we have done a triple T over here. And also we have not started our backend server. So let's start the backend server as well. CD backend source dot slash slash. Oh, it should be done. Yes, and I will start. Okay, I hope we have this thing now. Let me clear this. Let me restart. It says that for not found because there was an error in fetching the category ID. The for does not exist. So you have to, incorporate all those changes. But if I say just pass one, I'm able to get the category data. So I can just assign it to a variable. Constant category is equals to, I can define a particular variable and like this. And the data which I get, I can just say category dot value is equals to data, or if I want to specifically specify dot category dot name as data dot name. How I'm getting the data, that's more crucial. So in the response, I'm getting the name and description. So this is the values which I'm using. And this is how I've assigned it. Now I can simply use this over here. So first of all, I have to do a V model. It is being binded to categories. What's the name which we have given over here? This is category which we have given. So category dot first name, and similarly we can do a V binding over here. Dot description. And if I wanted to have the values for the text area, I can use a key attribute called as value. I need to bind it. And so I'm using semicolon. And then I can just say category dot name. And similarly, I can say inside the text area, I don't have any sub value attribute called as value. So I can use these curly brackets to do the data interpolation. And I would say category dot description. And let's save the file now and see if we are able to populate. It will interfere alongside the model. It will interfere. Okay, we have to remove this thing from here. Let's refresh. Ref is not defined. Again, ref is not defined. That is, I forgot to import the ref. Let's refresh. And now you can see that the values are being pre-filled with the values over here. So this is happening because of the two things. One is we were able to send the data dynamically with our URL, and that's how we have get the data which has been passed by the URL. We are able to accept it with the help of using the route. And there are two things. One is use router and use route. These are the two different things. Use router is used for a programmatic navigation, and the use route is used to access the values which have data which has been associated with the routes. And if you want to read more about these, the documentation is always there. This is one thing. The next thing was how do we use various lifecycle hooks? I have shown you one example of on-mounted. Similarly, you can use there are others as well. So, for example, if you want to use import on before mounted, so on before mount or on before what is this? On before mount, if we want to use this is the place where the code which you define on before mount. This is the place where the code will be injected. So I hope this is clear. If you have any doubts, please let me know. This is where I would be stopping. I would be stopping for the view part or the front end part. Any doubts, Jitendra, Rohini, and Nitin?
Yeah, there was only one challenge I faced in my application is the token timeout. See, I couldn't figure out how to handle token timeout. So when you're working and then you go away for a couple of minutes, come back, and the token
Mhm,
times up, the screen kind of freezes. Then you have to refresh the whole app or reload the page for it to go back to login or something.
mhm. Okay,
So
so I
is
will
that
advise
an
you to look at
important
this
thing for
particular
the
place.
is that an
For
important
this
thing for the Viva or not?
For
It,
this project, it is not important to have a token timeout. It is not important. But if you want to look into this, you can just look. The place where you have to look is for the class security documentation. And when you look at that documentation, somewhere in the configurations of
we can set it up to look for the timeout.
yep. So somewhere it should be there for the configurations. If I have to
Okay.
see, yeah.
Anyway, let's leave
Inside the
it.
configuration, you can see like these are the various configuration you have to set. Some other configuration you have to set for the what should be the time for the token timer. You can change that.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Apart in this particular concept, did you have any other have any doubts?
No, this is
I
clear.
think this is clear. So first, now I will be moving to the backend part, and for that I need to have Redis, MailHog in my system, and Celery, for which I don't in this particular system I don't have any of the things. So I will just start doing it because I have to demonstrate the code here in this particular itself. So first of all, I have my virtual environment activated. So along with all these things, I will be using pip install Celery. So it will install the Celery which is there. So the command, let me write it into the requirements.txt. So the next thing is Celery app install in my system. Once Celery is done, I have to look for Redis as well as MailHog. There are two more things which I need. So I'll go to the browser. Uh, this is for people who are using macOS or Linux kind of an environment, or if you are trying to use WS. So this is for those people. For the Windows, I will come. So pip install Celery is same for both all the systems. But for Redis and MailHog, we'll see a different way to do it. But for now, this is for the Mac OS and Linux. And so I'll just go to Redis and I can just install Redis download. Yes. Yeah, this is like a documentation of Celery. Okay, for this software. I Okay, I have somewhere I've stored the link, so I will just visit that. Okay, the people who want to just visit this, you can visit the documentation, Redis doc, and you can look for install and upgrade. And I'll share this link anyways. So these are the codes which you have to run for the Redis to install. And for the people who are using on Ubuntu or Debian, just execute these commands. You can either use or you can use Red Hat. So for me, it would be for the macOS. So I will go and visit in macOS. I have to just check whether there is a brew in my system. Let me open a terminal and see if there is brew. And I can see that brew is there. So I can clearly use brew install Redis to install the Redis in my system. Brew install Redis. It will keep installing. Yes, once this is done, the way to check whether the Redis is there in my system or not, it will be just Redis server. Yes. And I can see that this kind of a window opens. That means that now my Redis server is started. Now I can use Redis in my system. And so I will just stop it for now. And this is one thing which I have to do. The next thing is I have to install the MailHog. So I will search for MailHog. And for the people who are using for the Windows, you have to go to the releases, click on the releases over here, and install for Windows. You can install this particular file. You can store this particular file. This is an executable file which you can store on the desktop. But for me, right now, it should be the commands would be there. This is the command which I have to run, which is just brew install MailHog. So for that, I will just say brew install MailHog. Yes, so both MailHog and Redis has been installed into my system. Now let me join and show you the similar things on how do we do. So if I just go to terminal and just write MailHog, it will start a particular, you can see that the server has been started. Now if I go and visit localhost, what was the port number? I have to see the port number. Port number is 8025. 8025. This is the place where all our emails which we are sending will be displayed over here. So if you want to demonstrate whether you are able to check whether you have able to receive the mails or not, this is the place where we will be checking whether we are able to get the emails or not. Here, so basically what we have done is we have started in dummy server, mail server. So this is the place where we will be getting all our emails. And so this is the part for the macOS. Let me stop sharing from here. I will join from the Windows system to show how we can do similar things on the Windows operating system. Just give me a minute. My screen is visible.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay. So for the Windows, if we wanted to go for the MailHog, it is the thing which I said, right? It would be, I'll just go to the MailHog. Oh, okay. Okay, I think my system stopped. I'm not able to demonstrate it, but I will just give you one pointers on how you can do it. I won't be able to demonstrate the system went down. So if you go and I've shared you two links, right? And for the MailHog, this is the link which I've already shared with you. You just have to go to the releases over here, and you just download this particular file, which is MailHog Windows 386. Or if you have an AMD processor, you can download the AMD 64. But you can just install it, and you can place this particular file anywhere in your system. Now, once that is done, you can just this is an executable file. If you open this particular file, your Mailog server will start, and you can test whether it has been started by going to this particular URL. Can you do it for the now? Uh, Anyone has a Windows system?
Yeah, I have a Windows.
Can you share your screen? It would be better. I'll just guide you on what to do. It would be much easier for others to see.
Yeah, I can do that. 1 minute.
Yeah. Also, take your time, Nathan. I'll be back in 1 minute. Huh? In the meantime, you can share your screen. I just need to use Osho. Just now.
Okay. Should I share?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you able to see my screen?
Yeah, your screen is visible now. Can you? Okay. I'll paste. Can you search for MailHog? Yeah, first URL. Click on the MailHog one point. The releases. Come to the releases side. Your right hand side. You see releases. Click on the first one.
This one?
Yeah, this one. Yes. Accordingly, you can download the file which I told you, which is, let's say, MailHog Windows 386.exe. You have Intel processor, right? In your system?
Yes, it's Intel.
Yeah. Yeah, you can download this then. You can save it wherever you want. Either you can save it on desktop, so it is easier for demonstration. You can save it on desktop.
Uh, Desktop is messed up. Okay. I'll save it in my D drive somewhere.
Yeah, somewhere. Because we just need to execute this particular file.
Save it in my D drive. Save. Okay.
Yeah. So now is it Okay, now you can go to your D drive and execute this particular file which you have just downloaded.
I think it's still going on.
Okay, I think it needs an instruction. We have to react it. Can you just go to the Chrome browser? We have to respond. Go to your downloads. Not folder, the downloads window in the browser.
Oh, in this, yeah.
Yeah. Because I think it needs an reaction, so we have to click on what we have to do. Isn't command downloaded? Make sure you trust. Yeah. Can you check? Can you?
Keep.
Yes, click on keep.
Yeah. Click on keep. Slow mode. And keep anywhere.
Yeah.
And now it has downloaded. Now you can go to the data. You had open downloads. Go to the D drive. Yeah, this is here. MailHog is there, right? At the bottom.
Yeah.
You can just double click on this particular file to start your server. And you will see your MailHog server is started. Now you just go to your browser and just run localhost semicolon, not semicolon, the colon 8025. Yes. Now this is your MailHog has been set up properly. Now we have to look for Redis. That needs to be done. You can just search for. Can you search for Redis now?
In the browser. Again. Okay, let's open another one.
Can you? I have to scroll down. No, not this one. Scroll down. Keep scrolling. I think there is this GitHub repo which we have to visit. Search for Redis for Windows. Scroll down. No, not this one. Also scroll down. We are looking for a GitHub repo. Yeah, this. No, not this one. Also scroll down. Okay, it's not coming on the. I'll share you the link. I've already shared the link. Can anyone paste in the chat box so that he can take it from there?
So, someone sending it?
I'm sending it. Just give me a minute.
Okay.
Yeah, I've shared on the chat box. Yeah, this one. You see, right? Releases, which is clearly visible on
There's
your.
something? Yeah.
Yeah, this one. Go to the releases. Yeah, we are on the releases only. Now you can install MSI for the first one. You can see, which is there. Redis 64.5.0.1 for MSI. The first thing.
So, yeah.
Install it. Download this. You can save anywhere. Save on downloads. We just need to run it. Open this type. And we'll follow the installation. Next, we have to I accept. You click on this add the Redis installation folder to path environment variables. Yes, this is important. Next. Next. So we are specifying a port number, which is 6379, which is important. We will remember it when we were doing with the project. So remember this 6379. Next.
Port. I just wrote it down.
Next.
We don't have to do this, right? No.
Yeah, if you want to restrict the limitations of the thing, but we don't need install. Mm. When the meantime it's installing, can you open the PowerShell?
Yeah.
Okay, so what's the status of this installation? Has it been done? Hopefully it will be done by now.
It's done.
Yes, finish. Yeah, finish. And now you can run on your PowerShell, you can run Redis -server.
Space or no?
Hyphen. No space. Server. Enter. And it should be running. Can you click on Redis -CLI? Enter. I think we need to have a restart of your system, probably. Because
Close this,
after you
close
close
this,
this and reopen,
close window, and after that open it. If you
Close
open this
this.
window before installation, just close this complete window and reopen the PowerShell.
Okay. Or do I open command prompt?
anything will work for
Anything you
that.
can. Open command prompt.
Let's try command.
Yes, Redis server -server. Mm, I think right now it has started. Probably it's already running now. That's why this has come. So it port number 6379 is
Yeah.
yeah, it's starting, and also the port number is listening to it. That's why that kind of graph which we see. But now your system has Redis. You can just run Redis -server. If you'll restart your system, right, and you will again open your command prompt and run Redis server, you can use it now. Your
Okay.
MailHog is there in your system. Redis server is there in your system.
I think
Celery
front end also uses this, no?
in front. No, this is not the front end which uses. Front end uses 8080.
Not
No,
8080.
8080, not 8080. It is 5379.
5379. Yeah.
Yeah, it is 5379. 5173. 5173 is one which it uses for the front end.
Okay.
So now you can stop sharing. We'll start with the project now.
Okay.
I hope now people can, install Redis Celery MailHog for both Linux as well as, Windows. Now I can start with, let me share my screen. So now I have installed the Celery. As you can see, I have installed the Celery. Now I'll come to my controllers, or I don't need to go to the controllers. In my same level as app.py file, I want to create a new file called as Celery .py. This is the place where I will be doing all the initialization of my Celery app. So from Celery, I will import the Celery. Yes, so from Celery, import Celery. This is what we have done. And we have to initialize this Celery object, which would be Celery is equals to, we are creating this object of Celery over here. So we need to give her some things like a task and the broker and the backend. So now this is the place where this port number comes, right? So 6379 is the port number where my Redis is being hosted. So this is the path which I'm telling, okay, this would be my broker. And I'm just need the broker now for it. So this is the place I need to store all the key value pairs. Do I need to explain why do we use Celery and all? I hope it is very clear on why we are using Celery. It's a secondary server which help us to, run the asynchronous tasks. Now, once we are done with the Celery, this thing, we can just say celery.conf.update. And in this particular place, we can define what would be my time zone. Time zone, it should be Asia, Kolkata, because that's where we are, Asia, Kolkata. And then we can enable UTC to be false. We want that it should work with our time zone and not the UTC. So we have changed the time zone because we need to schedule some of the tasks. And if we schedule based on the Indian time system, and that's what we are doing over here. So this is the setup which we have done. This is the setup which we needed, and we have done it. Now, there are other things now, which is how do I start creating various tasks? So for that, what we will do, where is that? Okay, since I'm running with the context of my app, so I'll do one thing. That is, I'll import my app from app. I will import the file which is there. So in my app over here, I'm importing this particular app, and hopefully I will not get any circular errors. And then, okay, we can start creating a Celery task now by using this @Celery.tasks. And then right now I'm just performing very simple example, which is I just wanted to perform addition with app.app context. I want to perform an addition, so we'll sleep for some time so that we can see import time. I think I don't need to import it. It's already available. So time dot sleep. Let's sleep for 20 seconds so that that asynchronous things can be done. Okay. And then I wanted to perform an addition. Okay, I've defined some dummy example over here. So on how I'm defining it so that I can check whether my Celery configuration have been done successfully or not. Okay, this is how I define it. I'll save the file. And then I'll open another terminal. Inside the terminal, now I can call for, let's say, Celery. There's a commands which is there. One is Celery. Okay. Python, Celery. What was that command? We have to navigate back to backend first. And then I will run Celery. First, see that this is the file name which we are doing over here, Celery over here. So celery.app, Celery_app. This is the file name which we are giving. Celery app is the same file name which we are giving over here. And then dot. And what's the Celery application? This is the one. So we can run Celery. Okay. And then we can run for our worker, and we can set for various log levels. Log level is equals to info. Hmm. And jump out thing, 1.3 minus 1, celery minus a, celery app, and celery worker log level is equals to info. I haven't activated my virtual environment. Source.env slash bin slash activate. And now if I run this particular command, none attribute that is also have to start the Redis. I forgot to start the Redis server as well. So I will say Redis server. My Redis server is listening. And now what else I have to do? Let's test this now. What else I found? Configurations I forgot to set up. That is localhost. And configurations also have to set some things. Just give me a minute, I'm figuring it out. I probably have left some of the configurations to set up. Okay. Can I just come here, the Celery app? I just want to comment this out. Which was the level, which was given numbers. Just give me 5 minutes. Let me figure it out. It's better that I keep sharing my screen so that you can also see. Probably I've done something wrong with the installation. I have to also do few steps, which I didn't do for the Redis. So if it is for the Redis, we have to install like this, which says that pip install Celery Redis. That's why when it is trying to go to the Celery Redis, it's not able to do it. So I have to run pip install Celery Redis as well. So I have to run this command also, but it says install. Okay, why is this coming? Let's see. Okay. Minus u. Documentation is saying that I have to install this, but my system says that it is not able to do it. Can any one of you try whether this is working for your system or it's problem with my system only? Can someone please try this? When you are running on, can you run execute these two commands, pip install? I'll just write it in your pip install Celery and Celery Redis. Can you execute this particular command in your Windows system by activating a virtual environment and see if you're getting the similar error, because I think it's problem with my system and not. Nitin, Jitendra.
Sir, I already installed on WSL and it's working.
So it's problem with my system then. Nitin, can you check if you have not done it before?
Yeah, okay. Give me some time. I'll have to start up my virtual thing.
Yeah, please do that. I also have to figure out why this is not working for macOS. Let me take help of GPT now. Oh, very silly mistake, but yeah, it should be Celery Redis. Oops. So much so silly mistake I was making. Yeah, now it has been done. It has been done for the Redis also. So now if I run this particular file, which I was running before, the command
What
was
was the command?
I've pasted in the chat box. Pip install Celery and Celery Redis. This is the command you have to run for installing the Celery. Okay, and now you see that my Celery has started, and you can clearly see that there is this thing, a task which we have created over here, which was Celery app, an example task which we have created. It doesn't do anything much. It just sleeps for 20 seconds and then just print task complete. But if I have to execute this task from somewhere. So what I will do in my app.py file over here, let's create an API, and it would be like an user triggered task which we are trying to follow. So @ app celery.py. Sorry, @red.out. Celery example is the I am creating, and I'm sending a GET request. And what I will do, I will just say from Celery app, I need to import example task. And it's just that I will call this example delay, and then it will be done for me. This is how I define it. What I'm trying to do is all the Celery tasks which we have defined, if we want to execute those functions, we need to call this one function called as delay and in the brackets. That's what we have to do. I'll save this file, and will my server restart? Where is the server for the backend? Yeah, here. So I will just run Python 3 .py. I will also start myself. Now, if I go to the Thunder client, send a new request with 127.0.0.1 semicolon 5000 slash what was the endpoint? Example Celery Celery example. And if I send, a Celery task has been started, everything was gone over here. We didn't get anything, but if we go and look at our Celery tasks, right? This is the place where all the Celery tasks have been logged, and you see a Celery task has been received over here. Now it will take its own time and it will execute that. And you see, after some time, it did not return anything. The Celery task which was there, right? It has made a print statement which was task completed, and we say that the task has been succeeded in whatever time second it just asked us to. Because we asked us to sleep for 20 seconds, so the task got completed in this particular much amount of time, and we are able to return the control to us. So this is how the entire cycle of tasks is happening. You have any doubts? If you want me to explain it again, I'll do it. So what I have done over here in the entire thing is I have created one file called as Celery app. I have done some initialization of the Celery application by telling what would be my broker, what times when I'm working in, and this is how I've done it. Now I have defined a custom function, which is responsible for defining what all tasks we have to do. And since this particular example task is not an asynchronous task, so I'm not running it with the app context. I've run it simply, and it just does nothing. It just print task completed. And this was the task which we have defined. Now I have to execute it. This is a task which has been generally a user triggered task. So what I will do in my app.py file, I've defined one API which just does nothing, but it just execute that particular function, and it will let it Celery to do its job, and whenever the task is done, it will be displaying the outputs like this we have seen over here. So what has happened? So if you look at it, I hit an API over here. This was the API which got hit from the our application. A request was sent to the Celery over here. This was the task where the request was received. It took its own time to complete the task, and when the task was completed, you see the same reference number over here. This task got succeeded in so much of time. Now we can build on this thing, and we can start creating our data, our email, and everything. So let's see how do we send emails now. Okay, before that, I want to define a task over here, which we do with my Celery task, Celery.task. And this task would be define generate CSV file. Okay, this is the thing which we are doing. We are generating the CSV file. And right now, what we will do, we'll say, and right now I'm not going to demonstrate the time, sleep, and everything. It's just I want to start executing. What I want to do is, okay, let's have a data over here, which would be a dummy data. Let's have name and ID only. And I can have some dummy data. Now this dummy data which I have, now you can see that this data can be retrieved from your database as the way you want. But since why there is this error, I forgot to put a comma over here. Okay. Now this data, I want to generate the CSV file for this. So And I'm not using any library. You can use CSV writers as well. I'm just using with file open. I was just writing the content in a particular file. And I would just simply say right now that the file has been successfully generated. That's what I'm doing. I'm creating a data CSV file the same level over here. And whatever is the content over here, I'm going to write it in this particular CSV file, which is data.csv. I'm using with open. I'm just putting the content using app.write. And I have defined the CSV content like this. Okay. So now this is the task which we have done to generate the task CSV file. You can query this at this particular place. You can query your database to get the data. Then you can use either the way we have done it, it's very simple and rudimentary way, or if you want to use in CSV writer, there are many libraries which can write the data into CSV files. You can use that. I've used a very rudimentary way to write the content into a CSV file. And then I'm just saying that the file has been generated successfully. If we want to send this particular file via an email, we'll see how do do that. But for now, this is how we're just generating the file, and it will be storing that particular CSV file in the same local directory. We'll have to stop our Celery server. So we'll stop the Celery server. And then I'll save this particular file with a new defined task. I'll save the file and we'll restart the server. Now you see the another task has also been over here, which is generate CSV. And it may be like, so it is like a user trigger task again. It is again a user trigger task where user will hit a particular API so that CSV can be generated. I hope again we are not doing asynchronous task as of now. This is a user trigger task. So for that user trigger task, we have to define an API. We can come to our app.py file, not app.py file, app.py file. And again, I can define another endpoint over here, which says that app.route. We can generate the CSV and we can just have to execute that particular function. And that's it. It will generate the file for us. We'll save the file. And now I just have to hit this particular endpoint. So this server has restarted. Celery is working. I just need to go to the Thunder client just to demonstrate that this particular thing also works. So right now, see, let's focus on this particular place. When I hit a particular API over here, I received the task. Since it was a very small data, the data got generated very quickly, and I didn't put any time.sleep, and that data is over here. Now, if I go and look at my files, data.csv is in there, and the data is there. So in similar way, you can query your database, you can put the data into a CSV file, and you can save in your local system. This is how one thing we have done. Now I have to send this particular CSV file to a user on an email. Any doubts till this particular point? Is any doubt over here now?
No, sir.
Okay. So now let's define a mail file over here, which would be responsible for, because we would be sending daily reminders and everything. So why not we define an new file, which will be responsible for sending the mails. So for that, I need to import SMTP lib. So this is one thing which I need. And from MIME, I need the MIME text. Okay. Now my SMTP server, I have to specify which is my SMTP server, who is my host and everything. So for that, I will just say SMTP host. And right now it would be for Gmail, it would be different. But for now, it is since we're using MailHog, it will be local host. Okay. And it should have an SMTP port. And we know that the port for MailHog is 8025. So define the 8025. It's 8025, right? Yeah, it's 8025. Then we can from who is your sender. So we can just specify from email. This is the variables which we are declaring. And the email could be admin @ grocery. store.com. Okay, this is the variables which we have defined. Now I'm writing a function over here just to send the mail over here. So I will whatever the so I'm this particular function will take three arguments to whom we have to send the email. What is the subject of the mail? What is the body? Now we can whatever the message we get, we can make it a MIME text and send the body. Then we can specify the subject. We can specify who is the from where we are sending and all that we have passed as a message. Then we can run this particular code which is from from smtp.lib. Who is host and everything, and you send this particular mail as a string, or you can simply say send message or send message. The message which we have created, we will send, and you can create these endpoints if you want for yourself. But this is how we are defined a particular function which is responsible for sending the email. Let's save the file. We will use this particular function which is send email, and in our Celery application. So from here, where is that? From mail, I can import that particular function which I've just written. And this particular place, the file has been generated. Here I have to send the data now. Yes. So I can just call that particular function called as send send an email. And let's say that how do we say it? First of all, it should contains two email. So let's say that user1@gmail.com is the email. We have to send some message, some dummy message we are sending, and also we are sending some dummy for now. You can send you can send where this particular file you are generating that file would be saved, and all that you can do. But right now we are just trying to see how do we send the email, right? So we can save this particular file now. We have to restart our Celery. Yes, again we have that particular function. I just go to the Thunder client to send the same again function. And the file has been successfully generated, but it is still taking some time. Do we get any errors over here? No. Does the email got sent? Let me check our mail on server. No, we did not get anything over here. The file has not even, saved over here. We have to wait for it to resolve. I have to check why it is taking so much of the time. Okay, we have called a send email. And we will find calling this particular function with subject file post 8025. Now, where is this thing started? Okay. Oh, we have to use 1025, not 8025. This is the thing. So to view all the emails, we use 8025. But to send the email, this is the place where we have to use 1025 and not 8025. That's the mistake which we have done. So instead of 8025, it should be 1025. Let's save the file. You saw right where it is coming from. Mail is being SMT server is at this particular line, and it is 8025 is the place where we can see our files. So SMTP server port number is 1025. So let's save the file, and we have to redo it again. And then we'll send a file now. And again, email has also been sent to the user. If we go and see, this is the place where we are getting our emails. Right now we didn't send any data along with it, but again, you can send the data. You can look for the documentation on how you can send the data, which the file you have generated over here, how you can send the file in the email. So you just have to look for these documentation. One is basically just you have to focus on in what mail.py that instead of email text, there is another thing called as mime attachment or something is there. Like mime attachment, something would be there which you can use to send the attachments. Similarly, now since we have learned it how to we do this, we can come to our Celery app. This is how you can send the user trigger task. This was for the user trigger task. You have also sent an email. Now let's say that you are defining another Celery task, which would be a daily reminder. To send a daily reminder. And right now I'm hard coding this particular URL to which user you are sending the email, but you can always modify it. These particular functions can accept the arguments as well. So you can just say to email and whatever you want, or you can query all your database. For example, you can import like this from controllers, import what we need to from controllers.models. I need to import users, and users is equals to user.queryAll. For user in all the users, I have to send a mail. So right now I'm just sending some dummy mail, and then I can just return saying the daily emails has been sent. This is how I defined it, but I have to basically schedule these tasks. So in order to schedule this task, I can from Celery dot schedules. That should be schedules, I think. SPH schedules. We can import the cron tabs, and then we can say celery.config, and we can schedule a beat scheduled, and we have to send a daily reminder. This is the task which we are creating. This is a random name which we have given. Now the task is that you have to run from the Celery app. You are calling this particular function. From the Celery app, you are calling this particular function called as send daily reminders. This is the thing which we have specified over here. And what time you want to send this particular reminder, you can specify it now. So for example, this is right now, it is at every 9. But what we want is for every 3 seconds right now, we want to send this particular reminder. So I'm calling import datetime. From datetime, I will import DAT, datetime import time delta. And instead of schedule, I can just say every second or every minute. Let's for now just send second. For every 3 seconds, I want to keep sending these emails. Okay. And this is one schedule task which we have done. Let's save the file now. And once we have done this, we have to restart our Celery. Right now, we were just starting the Celery workers. The task is there, but in order to run these beat schedules, we have to run one more terminal. In that terminal, I will just navigate back to the backend, and then I will execute this particular command, which is Celery. First of all, I have to activate my virtual environment because Celery is in my virtual environment. So urc in source.env/bin/. activate. And then I can run Celery, Celery, and -a, then Celery app, the file name which we have over here, the Celery app. In the Celery app, we want to start Celery is with the way the object of the Celery is at this particular variable. So if we change this particular variable name, this is what it is coming over here. Then we can just say beat. We have started the worker over here. Not here. Over here, we have started the worker. Here we are starting the beat. And then we can also specify log level to be info. Okay. Now it has started the Celery app as well. And now see, a scheduler is sending an email, which is daily reminder. And for every 3 seconds, an email has been sent with the daily reminder. You can modify the time. Like you can use schedule cron tab to modify the time. Or since you have used time delta, which is being every second, every day you can send the email. So with that help of all these things, you can schedule this. Now, if you go and look at your inbox and refresh this, where the email is coming, did we, for every user in users, user email subject and body, we should get the email. Are we getting over here? Oh, we are getting these errors over here. So I have to stop this particular point. So it is the tasks have been scheduled, but every time we are running this task, we are encountering an error which says that application should be run with the app.app context. So whatever code we have, so all these schedules which we are doing, right? We have to put app.app context, and then inside the app context, we have to write all this code. And let's save the file. I'll restart the Celery. Let's restart the worker. Worker started. Let's restart the beat as well. Instead of every 3 seconds, I want every minutes, so that it doesn't, fill the space. Let's save the file. And let's run it now. We'll wait for some time for a minute to, get this thing done. But I hope you have understood like how we can schedule the task now. So basically, it's right now we have sent it a daily reminder. You can also add one more function where you are sending monthly reports, and you can define the template of your monthly reports and all that you can do. You can customize it. You can read you can ask, you can look for the resources on how do you customize the email and everything. But the concept for the Celery is simple. This is what we have to do for the Celery. Okay. Any doubts you have over here?
So we have to run two things. Salary in different and beat is different.
Celery is different. Celery is just for the user trigger task, the worker you are starting over here. But the schedules which you have set over here like this, right? For this to run, for these schedules to run, you have to start the beat.
Okay.
Like this. Right now, I think it is taking a lot of time. I've specified 3 minutes. If you have questions for the 3 minutes, you can ask. Whereas you have just to wait for 3 minutes to get this thing done. But I hope you got the idea on how to configure Celery in your application. You can now customize it according to your whims.
Yes, sir.
Okay, then. So this is the place where we end our this particular bootcamp. I'm sure that this will work. There won't be any errors now because we have corrected that error.
So, sir, after complete our project, can we ping you to show the project and?
Yeah, sure, you can do that.
Okay.
Yeah, and even if you face some encounters, okay, send task was created, and if we go look at your beat, a daily reminder has been sent, and if we come to the MailHog, see all the users like user 3, user 2, user 1, 2, all the users which were there in my database, they got the daily reminders, right? This is how you generally can schedule your emails. This is automatically, it is done for every 3 minutes. This will be done. This particular CSV generation which we did, it was just for one user triggered. So every time user will hit a particular API, that's when you are sending the data. All right. So yes, so with this, I'll stop sharing the screen. If you have any questions, we can take that. Yeah, I would be available till your deadline. So if you face any difficulty or you need any sort of help, you can ping me. I've shared my mobile number with you. You can ping me on WhatsApp. Please try to avoid the call. I might not be able to take it. I might be in the meeting. So just message me. I will, as and when I would be available, I would reply to that.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. So with this, we end this bootcamp. I hope I was able to help you guys with the project. And if you have any suggestions or feedback, which I should, look forward when I'm conducting future bootcamps, I would be very happy to take that.